Day and night, eternal rivals, they chase each other endlessly, never merging. But twice a year, they meet, face to face. That moment is called the equinox, the spring equinox, a promise of light, the autumn equinox, a warning of darkness. For us, it is astronomy. For our ancestors, it was a cosmic threshold. The autumn equinox was a mirror, reflecting humanity itself, fears, hopes, the balance between birth and death. Once, the earth was full of life. Demeter, goddess of fertility, blessed the fields. But her daughter, young Persephone, was taken by Hades, lord of the underworld. When his black horses tore her from the meadows, Demeter wept, and the earth wept with her. Crops failed, grass withered, famine spread. Zeus forced Hades to return the girl. Yet Persephone had eaten the pomegranate seed, the food of the dead, and so she had to remain below for part of the year. When she descended, autumn and winter ruled. When she rose, spring and summer returned. For the Greeks, the equinox symbolized this passage, a moment when light and darkness shared power, when Persephone stood at the threshold of two worlds and the earth held its breath. The myth of Persephone is about loss and return, about a mother's grief and humanity's cycle. The equinox reminded them, life is always a temporary farewell, but also a promise of return. In Celtic lands, the autumn equinox was celebrated as Mabon. It was not just astronomy, it was thanksgiving. The harvest was complete, fruits laid before gods and spirits of the land. Fires blazed on hills, families gathered, cups overflowed with cider and mead. Bread was baked from fresh grain and shared with all. For the dark months were long, and no one survived alone. Mabon was a moment of balance, day and night equal, man and nature in harmony. But the Celts knew it would not last. Darkness would grow, so they feasted as if tomorrow might never come. Mabon was a lesson in gratitude, not just for bread, but for warmth, friendship, and love. The only things that carried them through the cold. Further north, in the Baltic lands, the equinox was Michele. It was the festival of Jumis, the spirit of the field. His sign was the double ear of grain, two kernels fused into one. People searched the fields for it. Whoever found Jumis kept it at home, bringing fortune, joy, and fertility. That night they sang, danced, and prayed for his blessing. It was both thanksgiving and magic to hold the strength of the harvest through the winter. Michele was the feast of the cycle. One ending, another beginning. Jumis reminded them, true strength lies in unity. A double seed, a doubled joy, a doubled hope. Among Slavs, the equinox was the time when spirits crossed between worlds. Food was left on tables, believing ancestors would visit. Among Germans, it was the feast of harvest. They sacrificed the first sheaf to save the rest. All of it was an act of humility before nature, which both gives and takes. The equinox was their reminder. The world does not belong to man. We are part of its rhythm. All these myths and festivals differ, yet they all say the same. Light and darkness are equal. Man and nature are equal. Life and death are equal. The equinox is the moment of balance, but it passes. Darkness comes, and we must learn to accept it, as we accept the light. Today we know the equinox is only the tilt of Earth's axis, the orbit around the sun. But does that make it less meaningful? Our ancestors saw it as a mirror of life. Perhaps we should too. For the equinox asks each of us, when light and darkness are equal, which will you choose?